Hi, hello, it's Leilani from the Bible in 1 Year. We are reading about the minor prophets, and today we are starting our journey with the book of Nahum. Now, Nahum prophesies the downfall of Nineveh and Assyria. Nahum was a Jewish prophet and wrote primarily for the Jewish people. While the main subject of his prophesying was Nineveh, his message was mainly for the Jews. Now, he had a lot to say about the wrath of God and his judgments, but he also speaks about the Lord's mercy and grace. The famous verses that the Lord is slow to anger, and also that the Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble, and he cares for those who trust in him, is found in the very first chapter of Nahum. The capital of the Assyrian Empire was Nineveh, the city that heard the preaching of Jonah 100 years before and repented. Now, Nahum's call was to address a city that had slipped back into sin and was again bound for judgment. Nahum began his prophecy by considering the character of the God who brings judgment. God is a jealous God. Now, God is not jealous of us. He is jealous for us. God's jealousy is basically love in action because he refuses to share the human heart with anyone else. Now, God deeply cares about his people, and he will not let their oppressors go unpunished. See, we can't just hope that God will say all is forgiven when anyone passes from this world to the next. Sin must be accounted for, and every sin will be paid for, either in hell or on the cross. Those who love him and trust him see his goodness and find protection in him, because trust implies relationship, and God knows those who trust in him. One day there was a little girl and her father that was crossing a bridge, and the father was kind of scared, so he asked his little daughter, "Sweetheart, please hold my hand so that you don't fall into the river." The little girl said, "No, Dad, you hold my hand." "What's the difference?" the father asked. "There is a big difference," she replied. "If I hold your hand and something happens to me, chances are that I may let go of your hand. But if you hold my hand, I know for sure that no matter what happens, you will never let my hand go." In any relationship, the essence of trust is not in its bind, but in its bond. When we have a bond with the Father, trust is established. Knowing the grace and the mercy of God to his people should not make the believer careless, and in obedience, it should make the believer more careful to obey every word of the Lord. God's word is true. To the very last sentence, yes, he is good. Yes, he is slow to anger. Yes, he is jealous. Yes, he will punish the wicked ways. We can build our trust on him and let the Father hold our hand, knowing that he will not let go. Until we read together again next week, be blessed and goodbye.